Just a little background on me. I think you both know that I've been in real estate for about 21 years. I've purchased and sold more than 40 million of personal real estate. I'm not an attorney or an accountant. So this is a disclaimer that even though I share a lot of information or even legal documents that I put together with my course and my trainings, I always tell people to do their due diligence. I'm a full-time mom. I have three amazing boys, not so little anymore, 14, 16, and 18. And yeah, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to create 1,000 multimillionaires. And I want to show people how to do it the way I've done it using creative deal structuring. So years ago, I was a real estate agent. I got my license in 2004. And I realized after the crash that so many agents were leaving the business, getting out of the business, and so many investors were also leaving money at the table because the market had shifted in so many ways. Like we're about to see right now, there are shifts in the market again, and so it's super important to learn creative financing and learn how to structure deals outside of the box. And the biggest thing out of all of them is not only knowing how to do this, it's embodying the value amplifier identity. I call this value amplifier is because when our focus is bringing solutions to everyone we work with, um, that's when the deals happen, right? People do business with people they like and people they trust. So in this training, my goal is to show you how people can go from a limited solution provider to a value amplifier, okay, and solving problems, helping sellers out while you're still making very good money. A lot of real estate agents have misconceptions that these deals are hard to find, like you can't do it nowadays. Maybe you used to do it, years ago or decades ago. That's not the truth. Or that you need money, your own money. Not necessarily true. You can use other people's money. You can leverage existing loans. So, what's better than using the bank's money? At a 0% interest rate. What's better than that? Okay, helping a seller out, solving their problem, and using the bank's money to do it. And the other thing is that people don't think that you can buy pretty houses. That's another thing that's not true. This is the first property I purchased, a townhouse over 10 years ago. It was in 2013. I found this townhouse. It was in Reston, uh, off of Craigslist. So imagine, and the sellers, their situation was they were building another house and they couldn't afford to qualify for two mortgages. Okay. And I went on the appointment. I had of mine there too, who had done a couple of deals like this, and we talked to the sellers, and they had a loan that was around $325,000. So what we did is, let me back up for a second. This seller had the property on the market, okay, with a real estate agent for a couple of months, and it had not sold. And let me tell you why. What are the three reasons why a house doesn't sell? One, if it's overpriced. Two, if something is wrong with it. And three, the location. It could also be one and two, right? It's overpriced and something's wrong with it. So this is what was going on with this property. It was overpriced, okay, and it had a green room, a purple room, and those plastic accordion type closet doors, and that's why it hadn't sold. So he took it off the market and he put it on Craigslist by himself to sell it. Well, my virtual assistant out of the Philippines found the lead, called him. I got in touch with him, went on the appointment. Long story short, we structured the deal. just for what he owed on the property. And the loan was around 325. So that was our purchase and sales agreement. That was the price for 325. And I bought this property that was worth around 385. I bought it for less than $5,000. Here is the money that I brought to the table, 4,682.61 to be exact. And keep in mind, I have a picture of my kids at that time. My kids were little, and to be honest with you, after the crash of 2009, 2008, 2009, and my husband at the time had lost his job, I could not afford to get a regular job. I was a stay-at-home mom, and this was the only option that I felt like I had, because I had gotten my real estate license in 2004. So I said to myself, well, real estate will give me flexibility. Let me find another way to do this. Before this, I had rehabbed a couple of houses with my first mentor, Dave, and I was scared to death that something would happen to the market and I would lose our house. I would lose the couple of rentals that I already had because the market had crashed. So when you ask, there has to be a better way, there has to be a better way, and you're open to receiving, like God showed me a better way, and it was how to structure creative deals back in 2013. So this property, this is what it looked like. I painted it. I renovated a bathroom. It already had granite countertops. It was in good condition. I rented it out for a year and a half with a tenant. I call it a tenant buyer. The guy gave me $10,000 non-refundable option consideration. And guess what? He did not buy it after 18 months because he had a job relocation. So he walked away from his deposit. And I decided to sell it traditionally with a real estate agent on the market. So these are like the deal summary of this property. I purchased it for 323. It was a little less than 325 because we did a home inspection. And the home inspection items, I did an addendum, so it dropped the price a little bit. I bought it for less than $5,000. The tenant buyer forfeited an option consideration for $10,000. I sold it for $410 18 months later, and here's a wire transfer. So when I took out the costs that what I put into it, I netted about 76,000 on this property. So obviously you might say, okay, Naya, you bought this 10 years ago. We can't find these deals right now. I'm like, that's not true. Okay, I'm gonna show you how you can leverage and you could do this right now. So Jesse and Paula, I met them less than a year ago. Okay, they are engineers and they said, Naya, help us out. They had already invested in themselves. They had bought some coaching. They had programs. They had wholesale the property and got good money on it. And the other thing is this: they had gotten like a rehabbing course, and they got on 2 or 3 deals that were in over their head, and they had issues with contractors. So when I came in their lives less than a year ago, last December, they're like, okay, this is our situation. What can we do? They were passing out on leads. So I started coaching them. We started working together. This is a property they purchased in April. It's a townhouse. It was a lead referral. It was a referral lead. It just needed some cleanup work, some minor improvements to the property. They purchased it for $315. Okay. So in April, here is the settlement sheet. Guys, they bought it subject to the existing loan. The interest rate on that loan was 3.875. Okay. And the owner, he was behind, he was delinquent on the mortgage for a few months, about 2 months. So he was behind $3,439, and he hadn't paid his HOA. So the loan balance was 300, I believe. Yeah, it's subject to existing mortgage. Yeah, I'm looking at the settlement sheet. So it was 300,000, just a little over 300, 300, 335 to be exact. So they they brought to the table 19,000 uh, to pay the back payments, to pay him the difference, and they paid closing costs. So when we were when we were analyzing their options, okay, they had they had multiple options. What they could do with the property: one, they could fix it and put it on the market; two, they could even sell it on owner financing. Right? Interest rates have been going through their roof this year, so they could have done sold it on a wrap, and sold it at a higher interest rate. But let me tell you, okay, what actually happened. So at first they were estimating 56,000 here, 56,000 as a profit in April. But once we put the house on the market in August, okay, less than 9 days, 90 days later, because the prices had appreciated, they sold it for $500,000, in not the 445 that they had estimated, and they made a profit of $118,000 in 90 days. So here's a settlement sheet of when they sold it. Total was 178,947, but when we took out the cost of the updates, the renovation, and what they brought to the table, their net was 118. So this just happened this summer. Uh, so any questions up until this point? And then I'm going to show you another good one with Tom. Tom Tom did this year too, right? You or
No,
last year? Oh, a
no,
few years ago.
I think this might have been a couple years ago, but it was a big package. And the reason that you and I dug into it is
Yes,
because on the deal I made $22,500, and if
yes.
I stayed in the deal,
You would have been
um,
yeah. Well, let's not talk about that. You would have been like 400,000.
right, right.
uh, any questions so far up until this point before Tom gives us his scenario, the case study? Any comments?
You can put it in the chat too if you want, if you
Yeah,
have any
yeah, yeah,
questions.
yeah. But I like the interaction. So feel free to come on, ask any questions. Uh, you can interrupt me, no big deal. So Tom, let's talk about this one.
Sure, sure. Well, let me tell you the quick background. In Baltimore City, I've been doing business in Baltimore City since '05, and one of my friends, associates, I could even call her a student. She found a seller who had actually 7 properties to sell, and this is an example of a 5 property package we sold to a cash buyer, and the buyer had sold a company, and so they we agreed to $320,000 plus my fee, and so that ended up being about $64,000 a unit, and all of them were rented for 1,000 or more a month.
Okay, so are you guys following? So this is a package deal, right? Near Baltimore, right by the hospital, great location. And someone wanted, like the seller wanted to sell all, you said it was a 6 pack. You got
Well,
to, this is
this is
five.
5 of the 7.
Let's stick on the five. Stick
Yep.
on the five, the seven. So this particular one, the purchase price was 320. And then Tom's fee for structuring this, for bringing the buyer and the seller together, he made $22,000. Not bad, 22,500, right? This is a nice fee. But what Tom knows now that he didn't know back then, right, Tom? It's yeah. Don't hide. Don't worry. What Tom knows now is even if he brought in private money, all right, or because it was already rented out, guys, even at a 10% interest rate, his monthly payment would have been $3,000 a month, and he would be cash flowing $2,000 a month on top of that. Because keep in mind, those properties, okay, they're making $5,000 a month. Everyone has a tenant that's paying $1,000 a month. And could you have eventually increased that too? Because wasn't the $1,000 below for market rent?
All of them were below market rent because they'd been there for a little while.
So imagine even worst case scenario. This is worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, he would have been cash flowing $2,000 a month, okay? And during these 3 years that just passed, he looked up what the equity would be in in those properties, and it would have been an additional $300,000 to $400,000. So this one deal that he structured, okay, from being a wholesaler, if he had known how to structure it with being in it and having the wealth creating mindset, right? This deal could be worth, this is a $500,000 profit easy in 3 years. Because if you're cash flowing, $24,000 a month, not a month, a year. So you're at 75K and another 400K. Yeah, you're almost at $500,000. So now, Tom, who cares? I know. I'm not beating you up with this. All I'm saying is this will never happen again. You will never miss an opportunity like this ever again. So, anyone has any questions? Do you understand, or am I going too fast? Talk to me. Is everybody alive? Man, Tom, I guess it's you and me. Let's get Todd. Hey,
Hey,
Todd.
sorry, I just unmuted. I've done a lot of creative deals. I've bought that way and sold that way, but those are phenomenal. And the cool thing is, Naya, like these are good in any market, right?
Yes.
Any
Yes.
market. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. They're good in any market. I just bought a house too last month, 3 weeks ago, here in Purcellville, and it was a divorce situation. Um, and they were behind on the mortgage. We brought it current, and we purchased it for 575. We actually brought $115,000 to the table so they could split it between them, but we took over their existing loans. We're gonna put 150,000 into it because we're gonna update everything. It was built in 1980. We'll do extensive landscaping as well, and we're gonna put it in the market for like 1.2. So you can find these deals like Todd, like you just said, they're everywhere. Uh, so I've worked with investors like all over the country, and good information. Good. Okay, how do I pronounce your name? Is it
Sure.
Manas?
Manash, yes. Oh, very good. First
Oh,
shot, you got it. Yes, Manash.
oh,
Everyone
I like
calls me Marshall, but my name is Manash.
Manas. Okay, I like that. Very nice. Cool. Any questions, Manas? Have you been in real? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Have you been in real estate for a while?
Yeah, I've been in real estate since 2001. Actually,
Okay.
I met Tom in Baltimore. We did some deals together in Baltimore back before the market crashed, and then we sort of reunited again. We're always in contact, but we're more focused now. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I'm
Good.
no expert, but I've done real estate deals.
Good. Fantastic. And Paulette,
Yes.
you
I
being
was,
being you've been an agent for a long time. Have you gotten any? Do you have investment properties, or what? Do you have any creative deal
no,
experience?
I don't have any investment property, but I always take classes and listen to how to do the investment. But because of how they call, can I say that? Cash sometimes they will tell you how to get the cash, but that's what holding me much.
So this is the thing. I hear you, You said getting the cash is what scares you and that held you behind. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Where there is a will, there is a way. And the other thing is this: when you find a good deal, okay, the money will always come up. When you know how to structure it, money is
Mm-hmm.
never the issue. Okay, all you have
Mm-hmm.
to do is like bring myself or Tom in, bring in someone who has experience, and we're like, hey, we can structure this. Money is not the issue. But the thing is, do you need to invest in yourself? Yes, because you can only learn so much by looking at videos, by doing things, because you don't have the implementation. You don't have someone hand holding you and being like, hey, let's show you how to do this. Okay.
Like a coach.
Exactly, because that's the biggest thing. A coach takes the fear away. So for me, my first mentor, back in 2010, 11, after the crash, was a guy by the name of Dave, and he was a rehabber, and he took the fear away. He was coaching me. I would drive an hour away once a week and follow him for the whole day. He lived in Fredericksburg and he was doing flips out there, and I'm in Prince William County, and it would take me over an hour, and I would go there at least once a week, and I spent the whole day with him, and that took the fear away. And that's what got me into rehabbing, but I learned a tough lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest lesson I learned from Dave was watching his mistakes. Okay. And when you're rehabbing houses, he was a little bit of a deal junkie. Okay, let me tell you what that means. That means that you buy a house here and you have to renovate it. So you borrow money from Tom to fix this property. But guess what? You didn't borrow enough money. So now you just bought another house, and you bought this house, and you're borrowing money from Manas. And Manas thinks that you're investing the money that he gave you for this house, you actually took it and put it into this house because you hadn't finished the job. So
Mm-hmm.
when you do enough of that, what's the phrase? Borrow from Peter to pay Paul or something like that?
Rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yes. So when that happens, okay, thank you, Tom. So when that happens, you are always behind. You're behind, you're behind, you're behind. You can run out of money. So one deal goes bad, you don't make money. Another deal is very tight, and then it catches up with you. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I cannot let that happen to me. And the other bad thing that scared me so much was that I had to sign my name on a personal guarantee when you're using hard money. Okay. And that you could lose your house, you could lose everything. So that's why for me, that's why I was saying there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. So that's when I met my next mentor, Marco, and I was like, oh my God, this is gold. I felt like I won the lottery. I felt like, yes, this is better than the lottery because now I know how to structure something and use the bank's money to do it. Especially when I bought my first house, and let me tell you, signs from the universe. It was on Golden Rain Court. So for me, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be raining gold from now on. Um, but when you know how to do this, it's all about numbers.
Yeah.
And and you can even get paid to buy a house. And here's just one example of many that I have where I got paid to buy this gorgeous house that was only like 3 or 4 years old when I bought it. So it was built in 2014, a gorgeous 4 bedroom property. Do I have pictures? Oh man, I don't have pictures. I need to bring pictures next time. But it had beautiful hardwood floors. It was gorgeous, and the numbers were such that okay, the person who lived there was a colonel in the military, and he was only there for 1 year. he had a VA loan, and because he was only there for a year, within that 1 year, it didn't appreciate much, right? So when you're about to, when he wanted to sell it with an agent and pay closing costs and commissions, he would have to pay that, bring to the table $50,000. And that's exactly what happened, because he had two options. One option, either short sell it, okay, which he wasn't going to do because his credit is super important. He was a colonel in the military, or he knew he would have to bring money to the table. So when I met with him in person, we signed the purchase and sales agreement on the spot because I educated him, okay, and he knew that that he would have done that anyways. So he picked me over having it on the market. Oh, guys, look at the date. This is November 3rd. By the way, this is the perfect timing to get into this and learn how to do creative deals and look for leads. Okay? Winter months. As soon as October rolls around, since schools open up, until February, March time, real estate traditionally slows down. You don't have as many buyers, right? You're an agent, you know the market. So I always buy houses in the winter. That's why I bought 2 houses last month. I'm buying another one this month. Like, and I'm looking at deals. The winter time is amazing to get deals because everybody else, especially around the holidays, other investors, guess what they're not doing? They're not marketing. They're taking their foot off the pedal. They're not talking to sellers. But when someone has a situation, whether it's a divorce, whether it's death, whether it's a job relocation, whatever their situation is, and if they need or want to sell a house, can they wait around? No. So in essence, if you talk to them and you give them an option on how you could buy the house creatively, using leveraging that loan, and you bring them a solution that you could buy this house in 2 weeks, and they would have to pay you almost $50,000 to do it. If you're credible, okay, and if you know, if they like you and if they trust you, because people only do business with people they like and people they trust. So if they like you and if they trust you, they can do business with you. They're going to do business with you. That's what happened in this example. And here is the settlement sheet. I got paid, okay, because I covered the closing costs from my portion, but I got over $43,000 wired to me, okay. And you know what I did? I turned around and I found a tenant, okay, and I rented it out for 2 years. And for this particular property, I sold it what is that, 2021, and because of the prices, it had appreciated even more, guys. This was like such an easy deal. I made another 110 on the back end, and I got paid on the front end when I purchased it. These deals don't happen all the time. I don't want to make promises like that, but are they out there? They can be, yes. So did I get rid of the misconception that these deals are not out there? Does everybody believe that you can find these? Because that's the point I'm trying to make.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Good, 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 good.
So,
Something that,
can I
yeah,
ask you a question real quick? So
of
right
course.
now, with everything that you said, if you were going to give us three, lead generating strategies for right now to implement as soon as we get off this Zoom, what would that be?
So if you wanted to take action right now for lead gen,
Yep.
you're asking me. One thing that you could do that won't cost you a dime is look at all the for sale by owners. That doesn't cost you anything, right?
Okay.
Or get a VA, a virtual assistant. If you're good, if you have experience and you've done deals before, you can train someone to be on the phone and get you leads if you don't have time to do it yourself. Now, if your budget is an issue, okay, then you do it. You call, you call those leads, okay? And on this call, Tom, we're gonna give you my lead generating sheet that you can talk to sellers. And keep in mind, this is only the beginning. Manas, the more questions you ask, and the more you care genuinely about people, this is where most investors get it wrong, because they care more about the numbers. How can I take advantage of this seller? Oh, their situation is like this. They ask why they're selling, and they tell you, oh, I'm going through a divorce, or I'm going through whatever situation it is. But most investors are thinking, how can I take advantage of this situation? And the question should be, right? How can I get them to like me first so they can trust me enough to structure something outside of the box that will benefit you as much as possible, and it will benefit them. When you talk about what's in it for them, then people are willing to do it, right? So going back to the strategy, call for sale by owners. That's not costing you anything. Do you have access to the MLS? I'm going to give you another really good strategy right now.
No, I don't have access. No, I don't.
Okay, because if you had access to the MLS, let's say you have a friend of yours who's a real estate agent, and gives you access to the MLS, you can start contacting expireds from the last 90 days to 120 days. Okay, that's one. Okay, you can also start contacting active listings that have been on the market for more than 45 days. Because guess what? Motivation increases with time,
Mm.
Time and circumstances. Yep, you're right.
right? So I just
Right.
gave you three marketing techniques that won't cost you a lot of money.
Right. Okay.
Now, if you have a budget, if you have a marketing budget in place, can we add more? Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
yes.
Yeah, if you have a marketing budget in place, you can start contacting, you could do like online ads, or you could do direct mail. Guys, direct mail works. You can contact absentee owners, okay? I have a whole module on marketing, and I go in depth for like 2 hours. This could take like weeks, so we can't go in depth on this call. But
Okay.
but at least you get the gist of it, right, Manas? I just
Right.
gave you
Right.
three
No, I
ways.
understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. And the other thing that I believe is everything is energy. Something that makes me unique from anyone else out there in the real estate industry is that I touch on aligning. And I call it the energy of abundance. I do a visualization. So if you like, we can do one right now. I
Sure.
invite you. Do you guys want to do this?
Sure.
I
Okay.
do. I
All
can't speak
right,
for everybody else.
fantastic. So let's do this. This will be fun. This is something I do with my modules, in every module, and this is something that I do with my grateful family partners, the community that I put together. Because my goal is to create 1,000 multimillionaires, and I believe that when we're not aligned, it won't happen. So let's close our eyes.
Guys.
If you can, let's see, mute. Let's close our eyes and take a couple deep breaths. Take a deep breath in. Feel your lungs expand, your stomach as much as you can. And when you're on top, you can hold it as long as you can before you breathe out. Take a second and a deep breath in. Hold it as long as you can. And when you're ready, breathe out. Do it one more time. Pay attention, feel your heartbeat. Our breath is so powerful. And your body is amazing. So this energy of abundance visualization, as you're feeling into your body, I have an acronym that I'm going to use, and it's amazement. And I will guide you through this. So A stands for agape in Greek. So agape is love. Love, deep love for ourselves first, and then for people in our lives, for everything that we're doing. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. Then we go to M, manifesting. So when we have love and we have agape in our hearts, it's easy to manifest magic and miracles. We get strength from love. And that leads us into the A of amazement. So then the next A is for asking. And when we ask, we get answers. As long as we allow the answers to come in. So it's a reminder for you to ask. Whether you ask God, source energy, the universe, answers always come in. My experience has shown that when I ask and I allow, answers come in. But it works the same way with people. The more we ask, the more questions we ask, the more clarity we get, and the more we can help others. Moving on to the next letter, it's Z. And when we're doing this and when we're asking and allowing answers to come in, we're in our zone of genius. We're in flow. And the next letter is E. We get to enjoy what we're doing. We're fully present, right? We're in it moment by moment. We're feeling good. The next letter is E, because everything is exactly as it's supposed to be, right? When we're fully present, when we're in that flow, okay? Like we're alive. The next letter is N. N stands for nurturing. I want you to always remember, just like we started this exercise with our breath, when you want to slow things down and you want clarity, remember to go back to your breath. You nurture yourselves first, and when you have enough strength and energy to nurture yourself, you're able to nurture your loved ones in your life, and that can expand to your community, the people you work with. It's continuous. And the last letter on amazement, T. T stands for trusting. Trusting in the journey. Trusting is something that is very powerful. It's a powerful reminder. And I want you to think about all the times that you trusted, when you surrendered, and you surrendered to God, to the universe, and you trusted. Hasn't everything always worked out? For me, it always has. So I want to remind you to trust, to continue to trust. So when we're in this state of energy and abundance, of love and trusting, think about what can be possible. Like we are fully aligned, our belief is high, is strong. These case studies that I just showed you, can't you do this yourself? Can you imagine that you're helping similar sellers with similar situations and they are ecstatic that you came in their lives and you're helping them out? So I want you to imagine and picture either a seller that you've helped with in the past that was so happy because of your help, and imagine more situations coming your way. And remember the feeling of feeling good, because the more good we feel, we're magnets, the more good we attract. So I invite you, take a deep breath in, feel it fully, and any pictures, any ideas that came to you right now that you want to write down, feel free to open your eyes. And tell me, how was this experience for you?
It was very good.
Have
It
you
was
done anything like this before?
not exactly like this. I've worked on focusing on my imagination and things like that, but not the way you just laid everything out.
So did you like it? What do
Yes,
you?
I did. I did. I really did.
Good, good, good. Paulette and Todd, how was it for you?
Go ahead, Colette.
It was great.
It felt good. Good. Had you done anything like this?
No, not really.
See,
I'm
you all like, and Tom wrote down refreshed. Okay, Todd, what was your thoughts?
It's it's a little different twist. I meditate a lot, and I've been in this doing what you do in a different way, Joe Dispenza, and a lot of meditations. And
Hmm.
but everything you're saying is so from the very first words out of your mouth about being in alignment and tapping into that higher energy out there and the abundance. Everything you just said it a little bit differently, but I'm right there with you. I meditate every morning and evening, and I'm right. And it's so important because when I had a coaching program before COVID, we spent the first couple modules on mindset, just like you do.
Yeah.
Because if you teach all the skills in the world, it's like 90% of it's mental, 10% is skills. If you don't think you can do it, you're just like, Naya can do it, or Tom can do it, but I don't know if I can do it. That's like 90% of the battle. So I couldn't agree with you and try to promote what you're saying even more. So
Oh, thank you, Todd. That's exactly right. I've been a mentor and a coach to investors all over the country since 2015. And like Todd just said, mindset and psychology is this big, most important thing. At least 80, maybe 90, but at least 80% of the coaching that I would do was on personal development and mindset, because people didn't have the identity they needed to have in order to do the things they needed to do for them to get their results they wanted to get, if that makes sense. So, working on your mindset and your identity and feeling empowered and feeling good, because everything, we're energy. People can feel if you're afraid. Imagine going to a seller, and I've done this before, by the way. I've been on appointments and I didn't. Well, Paulette, I'm sorry. I think I missed you something.
Oh, I lost you all in the computer. I can find. I'm hearing you, but I cannot see anything.
Oh, okay. No, but I was saying I've been on appointments with sellers, and especially when I didn't know how to explain subject to, buying houses subject to the existing loans, or if they ask me questions, and I would go into over analysis mode. One time, one seller told me, he's like, "You're scaring me with what you're," because I said, "Don't contact the bank." I said, "You can't do this, you can't do that." And when he said that to me, I was like, "Oh, I know." In my mind, I was thinking, yeah, I was scaring myself too, just hearing me say, say certain things. Um, and going back to having a mentor is powerful. Can you do it by yourself? Absolutely. Okay. If you have a strong mindset, you can do. We can all do anything we want. It's just that I found, since I started investing in myself about 10 years ago, that it just became easier. My timeline shrunk tremendously. Because the first 10 years of real estate, I fell on my face quite a bit. Um, my first investment property, my properties, I had bad tenants. I didn't know anything about updating properties. I overpaid using, contractors. I even had to evict a police officer, and I learned how to garnish wages. So I felt like I became an attorney. I learned a lot. Things that I didn't really want to do. Um, but once I started investing and I found a mentor, my learning curve shrunk. Like within a year, I was able to make leaps. Um, and that's my goal. It's my passion. I want to help other people, especially when you learn how to structure creative deals while you're solving problems, okay? And sellers love you. Guys, it doesn't get better than this. It doesn't get better than this. All you need is like 10, 15 deals a year, okay? And that's not a lot. If you're doing marketing, if you're doing things consistently, and 10, 15 deals a year, and you could be doing $1 million by yourself. I had, one operator, somebody like an operations manager helping me out with a very small team, with a VA. Like, it doesn't have to, life doesn't have to be a struggle. Real estate doesn't have to be a struggle. So that's, but you have to put effort. Work is required. So,
I wanted to add something along those lines, Naya, if I can. Can you hear me
yeah.
okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. One of the things that's really attracted to me to you, obviously we know some people in common, but being part of the Grateful Family Partner community that I've now been for, I guess a couple months,
Mm-hmm.
the mindset and energy piece sets the table for the feast.
Yes,
So if you haven't taken care of your mindset and your energy, you may not eat.
correct.
And so when we talk about creative deal structuring and those kind of things, I want everyone to remember, don't think you're trying to find a creative deal. Think that you're trying to provide the best solution.
That's right.
It may be, Paulette, you may want to list it. It may be, Mark, you and I wholesale it. But now we've got more tools because you're here with Naya.
Yes, I agree 100%. Yeah, and for me, that's why I'm here. Like, even though I've been coaching for 2015, I was doing it for my mentor Marco, and this year I just had my grateful family partners at my house a few weeks ago in October, and it's fun. I'm dressed as Wonder Woman just because the whole point was to get them to realize that an old identity needs to die if you want your new self to be creating something you've never created before. You need to create a new identity, right? So here are just some of the grateful family partners. Some of them couldn't be there. But yeah, my goal is to be a solution, help people who really want to do this. I'm not really interested in people who want to get into real estate, and want to do a deal once in a blue moon. That won't get you to do $1 million a year. My goal is to help with to work with individuals who really want to focus on this, and then this is like their number one thing. Real estate is their number one thing, or it will soon become the number one thing because they believe that that's that's the solution. Yeah, so that's it. And then Tom and I are working together. Like today, if you don't already have it, I will share with you. Tom, do you have it? Are you gonna put it in the chat? My purchase sales agreement and my
Uh,
lead,
I'm gonna email it to everybody and give them the link if they want to get together and talk about their business with me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The other thing that we're doing is, um, I have like a wealth roadmap. If you don't know where you are, um, you don't know where you're going. So one of the things that I do with everyone I work with is look at where you are right now. Analyze. I use it. I say it's a wealth roadmap or a reflection form, and then Tom can do that with you on a call to help you see where you want to go. And something else that I talked about with the community last week. Remember, Tom? I said money is an exchange of energy for your time, right? That you're providing a service to sellers. You're doing things. Or if you have a job right now, or whether it's a product or a service, think of money as an exchange of energy. What would happen if there was no exchange, right? So, and that's it. That's it. If you have any questions, I'm happy to. No one has asked me any questions on subject two though, because I have some questions that come on my mind that you guys should be asking me.
I really can't think of anything. You know, I'm familiar with the whole process. I've actually I did one deal like that a while back. The property was going in foreclosure, and the woman had bad tenants, and she just didn't want the property. You know, so I put one deal together before, but that's not, like I said, my area of expertise. But Tom speaks so highly of you. You know, I'm glad that I made the Zoom presentation. This was very, very good.
Oh, good. Thank you, Manas. I appreciate that. Thanks for coming on.
And another thing to share, you gave that example earlier where I closed the 5 property package in Baltimore. Okay. What would that $24,000 a year and $400,000 in equity do for growing my business? So while I don't look back on it as anything other than a lesson,
Mhm.
the most important part that I've learned from doing business with you is dig into the situation and understanding and connecting with the seller, and then discover the best option.
Exactly.
Subject to or creative financing may not be the best option. But Naya, you've done wholesale deals, you've done traditional fix and flips, you've
Mhm.
listed properties.
Mhm.
And I kind of just wanted to say that again for, Paulette and I are both licensed. Todd and Manas have experience in real estate at a high level, and have for a long time. But one of the things in a previous meeting I was in earlier today is let's always be students of life. And the thing that's most beautiful about the Grateful Family Partner community, is we believe in abundance and collaboration. And so how many deals are you in the middle of or have finished with Jesse and Paula?
Oh my God. And remember, I said I just met them. I took them under my wing. Guys, these kids, I call them kids, are amazing. I love them. They're in their 20s, okay? They're in their 20s, and I took them under my wing like 11 months ago, and less than 11 months ago. And right now, uh, there I don't know, 6 7 deals. We just bought another house in Texas. We already bought two in Texas beginning of the year. We got the one in Purcellville. They did the one in Centerville. Like they're on a roll, and I love that. But they also take action. Like they take everything I've said to the key, and they just do it. And going back to the Grateful Family Partner community, with Todd, Manas, and Paulette, all three of you have experience. Okay, the community is like, I have a guy who just joined a month ago. And he's been in real estate 30 years. His family they own 600 units in Arlington and Alexandria apartments. And he joined the community because he's like, okay, I want to learn how to do creative deals, and I want the mastermind to help me out on mindset. And within a month and a half, he just says things have shifted so drastically. Remember, he just posted something on WhatsApp on the group, Tom, right, this week. And he's like, if it wasn't for him being in the community, like, and doing these meditation, these alignment exercises, um, yeah, he would not be where he is right now, as far as mindset and the way he's seeing opportunities come along. But yeah, if anyone is interested in learning more, yeah, talk to Tom. Tom, you can even let me know. We can share a couple of community calls just so they could get an idea. But the whole point of that is uh, collaboration, like Tom said, have a mastermind, do deals together. Yeah, help and support. No one should feel alone. So.
I think that was my biggest challenge. I mean, I know that you said you've spent almost $200,000 on your real estate education. Over the past 19 years, I probably spent about $50,000. And and the biggest point you mentioned earlier, shorten the learning curve, avoid mistakes. So my mistake on the 5 property package is I didn't bring in private money and just take it down, because I
Yourself,
thought, oh
yeah.
my gosh, 320,000. How am I going to come up with 30% cash? Oh my gosh, I don't know Naya. And so now every opportunity is an opportunity, because you see possibility in everything. And that's why you're my friend and mentor.
Thank you. You're my friend and mentor too. We all are. We're here to help each other out.